What if the fastest way to stop a panic attack is to stop trying to stop it? You are sitting at your desk, or maybe you are standing in the grocery store aisle. Your heart starts pounding out of nowhere. Your chest feels tight. You cannot get a full breath. Your hands start to tingle. Your vision blurs a little. The thought hits you like a wave. Something is very wrong. Am I having a heart attack? Am I dying? Am I losing my mind? You grab the edge of the counter. You tell yourself to breathe. Just breathe slowly. Just calm down. That is what everyone says to do. But the more you try to calm down, the worse it gets. Your heart races even faster. Your head spins. You feel like you are suffocating. The panic feeds on itself. It becomes a terrifying loop that feels impossible to break. Most people make a critical mistake in that moment. They try to fight the panic with deep, slow inhales. They take huge breaths to get more oxygen. They think that will settle their nerves. But here is the uncomfortable truth. That approach can actually make the dizziness and the suffocation feel much worse. The fix you have been taught is part of the problem. But your body already has a built-in emergency shutoff switch. It takes almost no effort. It works in under 30 seconds. And it uses a reflex you have had since birth. You just need to know how to trigger it. First, you need to understand what your body is actually doing when panic takes over. A panic attack starts in a tiny part of your brain called the amygdala. The amygdala is your body's alarm system. It scans the environment for threats. When it senses danger, it sounds the alarm. The problem is that this alarm can misfire. There is no tiger in the room. There is no real physical threat. But your brain sends the same signal anyway. That signal triggers your fight or flight response. Your adrenal glands release a flood of adrenaline. This hormone prepares your body to run or to fight. Your heart rate spikes. Your breathing becomes rapid and shallow. Your blood vessels constrict. Blood rushes away from your skin and toward your muscles. This is why your hands and feet go cold and tingly. Now here is the part most people do not understand. Rapid, shallow breathing is called hyperventilation. When you hyperventilate, you are not getting too little oxygen. You are actually blowing off too much carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is not just waste. It helps regulate the pH of your blood. When CO2 drops too low, your blood becomes more alkaline. This causes your blood vessels to constrict even more. It reduces blood flow to your brain. That reduction in blood flow causes dizziness, lightheadedness, and a feeling of suffocation. So you feel like you cannot breathe. But the problem is not a lack of air. The problem is that you are breathing too quickly and too shallowly. This creates a terrifying feedback loop. You feel suffocated, so you breathe faster. Breathing faster drops CO2 lower. Dropping CO2 makes you feel more suffocated. The loop spins faster and faster. Your brain also sends signals to your chest muscles to tighten. This causes the classic chest tightness of a panic attack. It feels like an elephant is sitting on your ribs, but it is just muscle tension. It is not a heart attack. It is a false alarm. Your nervous system has a brake pedal. It is called the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve runs from your brain down through your neck and into your chest and gut. It is the main highway for your parasympathetic nervous system. That is the system that tells your body to rest and digest. It slows your heart rate. It lowers your blood pressure. It tells your muscles to relax. The vagus nerve responds to your breathing. Specifically, it responds to your exhale. When you breathe out, your heart rate naturally slows down. When you breathe in, your heart rate naturally speeds up. This is called respiratory sinus arrhythmia. It is a normal and healthy reflex. The longer and slower your exhale, the more you activate the vagus nerve. The more you activate the vagus nerve, the more you tell your alarm system to stand down. So you know the science now. Your panic attack is a false alarm. Your rapid breathing is dropping your CO2. Your vagus nerve is your brake pedal. The fix is simple, but almost everyone gets the fix completely backward. Here is the first mistake. You try to fight the panic. You tell yourself to stop it. You clench your fists. and brace against the feeling. But fighting releases even more adrenaline. When you resist the surge, your brain interprets that as confirmation of a real threat. The alarm gets louder. The panic intensifies. Fighting the wave is like struggling against a riptide. It only pulls you under faster. The second mistake is deep, slow inhales. You have probably heard this advice your whole life. Take a deep breath. Hold it. Let it out slowly. But during a panic attack, that deep inhale stretches your lungs and stimulates your sympathetic nervous system. It actually gives your heart rate a slight bump. If you are already hyperventilating, taking a huge inhale only pushes your CO2 levels even lower. That worsens the dizziness. That worsens the tingling. That worsens the suffocation feeling. Your brain screams that you are not getting enough air, so you inhale deeper, and the cycle spins harder. The third mistake is telling yourself to calm down. This sounds helpful, but it creates a performance pressure. Now you are not just panicking. You are panicking about not being able to calm down. You have added a layer of failure on top of the fear. That failure spikes your anxiety even more. You feel broken. You feel weak. You feel like your body has betrayed you. The fourth mistake is dismissing cold water. If someone hands you a cold cloth, you might think it is just a distraction, a little comfort, nothing more. But you would be wrong. Cold water is not a mental trick. It is a physiological switch. Most people think the fix requires willpower. It does not. It requires biology. You cannot think your way out of a panic attack. Your prefrontal cortex, the thinking part of your brain, shuts down during the attack. The amygdala takes over. You cannot reason with an amygdala that is screaming fire. You have to bypass the brain entirely. You have to go straight to the nervous system. And that is exactly what the real fix does. It does not ask you to think. It does not ask you to fight. It asks you to trigger a reflex, and the reflex takes over from there. But there is a simple fix. It takes almost no extra time, and it uses a survival reflex you already have. Here is the rule. When a panic attack hits, do not fight it. Do not inhale deeply. Instead, exhale completely through your mouth. Then splash cold water on your face and neck. That is it. That is the 30-second panic reset. Let me break it into 2 simple steps. Step 1 is the exhale. Let all the air out of your lungs. Push it out slowly and completely through your mouth. Make a soft hissing sound if that helps. Do not force a big inhale afterward. Just let the inhale happen naturally and gently. Focus only on the exhale. Make that exhale longer than your inhale. Count to 4 on the exhale if you need to. A long, slow exhale is what activates the vagus nerve. It tells your heart to slow down. It tells your nervous system to switch from fight or flight to rest and digest. You are physically pulling the brake pedal. Step 2 is the cold water. Immediately after that long exhale, splash cold water on your face. Focus on your cheeks, your temples, and the area just under your eyes. You can use the bathroom sink. You can use the kitchen faucet. If you are not near a sink, press a cold water bottle or a cold pack against your forehead and the bridge of your nose. You can even cup cold water in your hands and hold it to your face. Why does this work? It triggers the mammalian dive reflex. This is an ancient survival reflex that all mammals share. When your face hits cold water, your body thinks you have dived underwater. It conserves oxygen. It immediately slows your heart rate by 10 to 25%. It redirects blood flow to your brain and heart. It forces your nervous system to slam on the brakes. This is not a suggestion. This is a hardwired biological override. Your brain has no choice but to respond. This entire process takes under 30 seconds. You do not need to meditate. You do not need to recite affirmations. You just need to exhale and get cold water on your face. It works in a grocery store bathroom. It works at your office sink. It works in the middle of the night when you wake up in a cold sweat. Once the spike is broken, you can use a simple grounding exercise to keep your mind occupied. The 5-4-3-2-1 technique works well. Look around and name 5 things you can see. Name 4 things you can touch. Name 3 things you can hear. Name 2 things you can smell. Name 1 thing you can taste. This keeps your prefrontal cortex busy. It stops your brain from scanning for new threats. It anchors you in the present moment. But the core rule remains the same. Exhale completely. Splash cold water on your face. That is the fix. That is the 30-second reset. Now, that is the rule. But does it actually work? Science says yes, and the evidence is surprisingly simple. The mammalian dive reflex is well documented in medical literature. When cold water hits your face, your heart rate drops within seconds. Your blood vessels constrict. Your body prioritizes blood flow to your core. This reflex is so powerful that doctors sometimes use it to treat supraventricular tachycardia, a condition where the heart beats too fast. They call it a vagal maneuver. It is the same principle. Cold water or ice packs on the face can stop a racing heart in its tracks. Studies have shown that this reflex reduces heart rate significantly in most people. The response is automatic. It does not require training. It does not require belief. It is physiology. Your body will obey this reflex whether you are calm or terrified. That is what makes it so reliable during a panic attack. The long exhale works through the same pathway. Research on heart rate variability shows that prolonged exhalation increases vagal tone. Higher vagal tone means a calmer nervous system. It means better resilience to stress. It means a faster recovery from anxiety. This is not a placebo. This is measurable, repeatable biology. You can feel your heart slow down as you exhale. That is not in your head. That is your vagus nerve doing its job. So here is what you have learned. A panic attack is a false alarm. It is not a heart attack. It is not a sign of insanity. It is a misfiring survival circuit. Fighting it feeds the fire. Deep inhales make the dizziness worse. But your body has a built-in off switch. The long exhale activates the brake pedal. Cold water on the face triggers the dive reflex. Together, they stop the attack in under 30 seconds. You do not need to conquer your panic. You just need to reset it. That is the truth. If this helped you see panic attacks differently, subscribe for more simple health truths. Thank you for watching.